All right, so if you live in the current century, you understand about YouTube Shorts and Reels. And as you flip through them, you might see something that interests you, right? Or somebody, and you're like, man, I would like to talk to that person. Well, I did that, and that's what today's episode is all about. But before we get into all that, of course, I got a handful of things I need to tell you about. First, I love a good quote. I got them piled up here on my desk, so I've been putting them in the front of each episode. And today's quote kind of goes along with Vincent and I's conversation, as you will see. And it's from George Burnett Shaw, and it reads, "Those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything." So let that roam around in your dome for a bit. And then, of course, I would love for you to jump down in the show notes. There's 2 links. One to Live Rishi. These guys make high-quality CBD product. Use a code word TABLE50. Looking at 50% off your entire order. The other link is to High Speed Daddy. These guys make tactical baby gear for today's parenting. And I use both these products on the regular. I wouldn't promote them if I didn't. Awesome products, awesome company, both of them. Please check them out. Let them know I sent you and give them shit while you're over there for me, will you? All right, man, let's get on to this. And what is this one? This is one of 2 different types of formats that I have. Today, it's a long version. It's about 90 minutes. It's me and Vincent, usually one guest, and we have a great conversation about, well, everything. On the opposite weeks, I have what's called B-Raw Bites, and it's about 10 to 15 minutes long. Just me spitting into this mic about shit that I think you need to hear. And you can find out everything you need to know about the show over at my website, brawpodcast.com, where to listen, merch, blogs, all that good stuff. Make sure you check it out. Bringing this back around, I found Vincent on YouTube Shorts, and he's got this awesome format. You see him, his microphone, and then he's got a split screen with a current event, and he describes the event, and he gives his opinion, which is awesome. They're highly enjoyable. Definitely check him out. And it was an honor to have him on. The way I've been thinking about Vincent and how to talk to, do this intro. Imagine the type of person you can sit by next to at a bar, an airport, or waiting in line, and you exchange a few words, and you just feel comfortable next to him because he's got his shit together. And then you have a few, you might exchange some more words, and then when you part ways, you just feel good about everything, talking to this dude for a few minutes. And that's how I felt after talking to him for an hour. So you can imagine it's just truly enjoyable. And again, it was awesome to have him on. And he's got a story that he got a cease and desist letter from, Jim Carrey. But like normally, I'm going to let him tell you all about it. Let's get to it. Look at that. We are, well, it's not live. Obviously, it'll be coming out in a little bit. Appreciate you coming on, dude.
Hey,
first and foremost, now everything you say is going to be on the internet. So make sure you talk shit about your boys.
I'll try to.
Yeah, right. Dude, so I came across you on YouTube. And then, of course, I had to troll you. And your response I was like, hey, man, I trolled you a little bit, and I'd love to have you on. And you right away, you're like, what about Jim Carrey? I was like, what? I don't even know what he's talking about. What? He's getting sued? But that seemed to be all a bunch of shit, right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I got that email on my Proton Mail, which was a cease and desist. And then right after that, when I checked, it was your message. So I was like, oh, okay. He's talking about the cease and desist. But then you're like, no, I didn't know anything about it. And so then I started digging in.
Here we are.
So,
because when you responded back to me with that, I was like, oh shit, I don't know. And like 2 days later, I'm on YouTube Shorts, and there you are talking about your fucking cease and desist about Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah.
So did they actually give you one?
Oh yeah, yeah. They gave me the cease and desist, but it never became a lawsuit. And I did some things, a lot of people are like, hey, in your video on YouTube, the part with Jim got nipped out. And I'm like, oh, I got nipped out? Well, who knows how? But it's like, I went ahead and took it out. And then I just didn't want to create more issues than already was. Sure. The video was already out there. Everybody had seen it, so I was like, And so then I blushed out his face also. But then you could tell it's him,
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's already out there. By that time, 10 million people saw the short, and like 3 million had seen the other one. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what was it? Only one? How many cease and desist you get for that?
I got one in the mail and one in the email.
So when I did a change on my show, it used to be called Walt's Kitchen Table, and when I went to Raw, I was going to put the Raw, right? So now
Mhm.
now I have a verb, but I got 4 cease and desist letters
Wow.
from people that had the Raw podcast, and I was like, so, and of course I did my due diligence, and here's the Raw on Instagram, 0 post, 0 followers, just there it is. But yeah, that's the one that sent me one in the mail and one online as well. I was like, I don't need this shit, dude. I'm just gonna fucking call it something else,
Yeah.
you know.
That's so
So
strange that they're not that active, but they got the money to send a cease and desist.
yeah, my first thought was, you know how people go through and buy domains for
Yeah.
like $40, and then somebody wants it, and they're like, "Oh, I'll sell it to you for $400." So I was waiting for them to be, "Oh yeah, we'll give you that for X amount of dollars." That's what I was waiting for, but they never did that. They just
Mm-hmm.
first was the email, and then I got one in the mail. I'm like, "Well, fuck that, dude. It ain't worth it." You know, I don't want to
Yeah.
deal with all that. And the content that you put out, that's the first time you got nailed?
I got nailed one time by Coinbase. I don't know if you're familiar. They're a cryptocurrency bank, exchange kind of service. And one time they gave me one for talking shit. I had talked about some vulnerabilities in their system, and I got one.
Huh? Man,
Yeah.
that's kind of. And then what's YouTube do to your videos? They strike them at all?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, they don't take part. If you get a cease and desist and it's something for defamation of character or something weird, they don't get involved. I heard that lady that got sued because of due to Cardi B for talking shit about Cardi B. They never took down that video. The video she got sued over stayed up, still up, I believe.
Oh, like you said, YouTube's like that's between you guys. That's nothing to do with us, right? Huh.
Yeah, they only do for copyright, I guess. For those DCMA copyright stuff, they'll take it down.
Yeah, yeah. I give shit, man. Sometimes when I first started doing shorts, I got blasted a bunch for music. I was like, oh man, I better get some royalty free music on. But then that fucks up my algorithm. If I put
I bet.
Do you use Canva? Do you know what that is?
I love Canva. Yeah, who doesn't? That's
my
amazing
God,
service.
I use the shit out of it. When I put an audio clip on one of my shorts from Canva, no views at all, dude. Nope. Now, if I rip some songs or music, and then you can make the MP3 file in Canva, and I add that through the roof. Isn't that weird? Yeah, I haven't got the knack down of thumbnails and all that shit. I just create something, put it up there, and forget about it.
Oh yeah, I still haven't figured out. All these years, I still haven't figured out.
And then your shorts, do you have the longer versions of those as well? I didn't look too much into that.
Yeah, I try. Sometimes it's hard to find, the topic. If it's a good topic, I'll make something long. Then the short is like a fragment of that.
Right. Sure.
And then other times I'm just like, this is just worth a short. I think the longer it goes on, the more I'm just doing shorts.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is though, so you create the video purposely, it's going to be a short.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. All right. Man, how did you get into that? I like on your website. Oh, by the way, your website, dude, that video is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I owned a video photo production company for a long time. And I really enjoyed that. So I wanted to compliment you on that. That was cool to see. Completely unexpected. It was like something about entrepreneur, right? Yeah. And I was like watching, and I was like, then it was over, and I was like, that was fucking cool. So, but on there it says that you want to talk about news and all that nobody wants to talk about. How'd you come along with that? You just got sick of all the.
Well, I don't know. To be honest, I used to kind of talk about this kind of stuff in another channel, but then I got kind of popular because of doing crypto videos, right? So that took up a long time back in like 2016, 2017. And then, everybody with crypto is constantly like, you always take missteps. Like everybody wants to call you a scammer. You know, like if you pick a coin or you talk about this, they'll be like, oh, the coin went down, then you're a scammer, this. And I'm like, man, I need to start finding something else to talk about. And so then I kind of reverted back to just whatever interests me. So the topics I cover are just things that I see or think or talk to my wife about, you know, so she don't have to listen to me anymore. She's like, do a video about it.
Hey, great story, bro. Now go do a video, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing with crypto and a lot of those topics. The trolls are, dude. It makes you not want to do it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like in your case, they just blow you up, and it's like, hey, man, I'm just stating facts. Here's this coin. This is what it did. This is what it didn't do. But then everybody blows you up in the feed, right?
Oh yeah, well, it's like picking stocks. You know that guy? What's the guy on NBC that everybody hates? The guy Mad Money who's always screaming.
Yeah.
You know, again, you know, some people like it, some people don't like them. You can't win if you're picking stocks because you're not always going to be right. So
It's like anything with gambling. I mean, isn't the stock market a form of gambling?
well, definitely. I think, you know, it can move down even if everything is saying it should move up, you know, so it's definitely a gamble.
You got a bunch of stuff in the stock?
Yeah, I try.
Yeah,
A little bit.
Yeah, same here, but it's kind of scary when over the last year, 2 years, especially last year, I went, that'll take a little while to bring that back.
Oh yeah, I went heavy into like e-commerce stocks. I think around COVID, so I had that real big bump. I was like, yeah, it's like more and more. I'm like, yeah, we're going to the moon. And then things hit the past year, and you know, Shopify, you know, eBay, PayPal, all those just dropped, and I was just like, oh,
not cool.
Yeah. Do you buy into Tesla?
Nah, I didn't.
Yeah, I missed that boat. I missed
the Tesla boat. Well, the same with Amazon, right? And then the one guy said, with Amazon, even if it's $6,000 a share, you can't go wrong. You could still buy it and make money, but I don't have that kind of. My W-2 doesn't support that, dude. You know,
I own a little Amazon, but it's like with Tesla, you know, it's just so overvalued in my mind. You know, I know some people justify it, but I keep saying that, and then year after year, it performs so well. And then I'm like, okay, well, it's too high. I'm not buying in now. Then again and again. Now I'm just tired. I don't want to give in, so I'm just gonna stay out.
Yeah, there you go. I like that, because the moment you buy it,
yeah,
right, that's what you're thinking.
That's what I'm thinking.
But the thing is, how sustainable is that, right? I mean, if you look at you big into electric cars and all that stuff and electric vehicles?
I drive like a Yukon.
Oh, my man. I drive a 17-foot work truck, dude, or so,
there you go.
with a box on the back. I just look at those numbers, and I think you touched on it one time too, of they want to be all electric by a certain date, but when you break it down, how many stations they got to build, and like so many have to be built by so many each day, you know, when you reverse engineer it, just like any business. No, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's scary. Well, the thing with California, they're doing no new gas vehicle sales like by 2025 or something like that. That's crazy.
Well,
so you can buy used cars, but no new ones that run on gas.
I bet you that. So how does that work with registering one? You go over to Nevada and buy one.
Yeah, there you go.
I bet you them border states are like, I'll take that.
Definitely.
So much California, dude. Have you seen the videos on the homeless over there?
Oh my God, yeah.
How would you like to live there? And you're stuck there. Yeah, but you're stuck there. Some people can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I went to Santa Monica not too long ago. It's just crazy how many homeless people. Anywhere you walk, like it's funny because there's a contrast of so much wealth in such a touristy area, and then just there's homeless people sitting there. And I've just never seen that anywhere else. It kind of, I don't want to sound untactful and say it ruins your vacation, but it's just, you know, reality hits you in the face with these people constantly every corner asking for money. And it's sombering. It makes you sad, you know?
Yeah. I was in Maui. I used to spend a lot of time in Maui, and one year my friend and I decided to go over to Pearl Harbor, right? So we fly over to the island, and we land at 7:00 at night. We're like, hey man, let's go get something to eat. It was like a Buffalo Wild Wings or something right there. So we go in there, have a bunch of drinks and eating and having a good time. And on the drive over, the homeless was just unbelievable. But then when we came out, we had to walk in the street because the lawn and the sidewalk was completely covered with homeless people. We couldn't even walk on any of that. We had to walk in the street with traffic. I was like, I get it, man. If you're going to be homeless somewhere, go to Hawaii. I get it, but that was just to see it. And of course, the smell as soon as you walk out of the damn restaurant.
How they getting there? They swimming over to Hawaii?
Yeah, I don't know. I bet you like California's paying for them, put them on a boat, and send them over, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't. I lived in Colorado for a long time, and they would ship homeless and that type of stuff to Colorado Springs or to Denver or to Greeley, and fly them in from other states. Nuts, right? I don't know how the receiving state has, how do you rebuttal that? Like if I'm in Colorado and I know that Texas or somebody is sending me homeless people, like how do you say, no, don't do that?
I don't know. They're playing dirty. You got to play dirty too somehow.
That's what, yeah. You're going to, hey man, I don't mind dirty pool, but just let everybody play, right?
You send them back. They fly them in. You send them by Greyhound back.
Yeah, by Greyhound for sure. Right.
It's just a cycle.
So, in your bio said I put CEO. So, this is what I usually put on my little thing here.
I appreciate it.
That cool? And I took that quote from you on your.
Hey, I appreciate it. Looks perfect.
Yeah. But here you are, got some money. Are you considered a CEO? What do you do now?
I don't know. CEO sounds good on paper. Really, my wife is a CEO. I'm running the business. At the time when I formed my company, she had impeccable credit. So I was like, we're going to put you as CEO. She's like, whatever, and then it just carried on from there.
Well, you get tax break too with a female owner, right?
I don't know if you get a tax break, but you certainly can participate in a lot of different programs.
Sure. Yeah.
And certifications and stuff for women only owned businesses.
So
we milked that for sure.
Oh yeah. Why not? Hey, hate the player, not the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take advantage of everything you got. I ain't mad at you. And then what do you then? So when I make shorts out of my videos, and I might not be really good at it, but it takes a lot of fucking time, dude. I mean, how much time you spent on a week? How many hours you put into it?
Not much, to be honest, because I started back doing it more, let's see, around December, and I run in the business on the side. So all my time is occupied pretty much doing customer service,
right.
Just seeing what people want, something wrong, reship this, redo that. And then, in the afternoon after I cook lunch for the family, boom. After I'm done with that, I usually try to bang out a video. I'd say an hour and a half, but I spend a lot of time through the day checking my phone, trying to get ideas, reading news.
Yeah, that was my next question. Like I guess we'd call it research, right? So while you're waiting for the pasta to boil, you're looking for some articles.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just surfing social media. That's why everybody got mad. They're like, how dare you post this video with the Jim Carrey? Why you didn't do more research and find out? And I'm like, listen, it very well could be. They don't have this list that, it's not been published. So why do you care? But like, well, you should fact check, only publish fact check stuff. I'm like, I don't got time for that. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's true. I'm just publishing something and making a comment on it, sharing it, giving you my opinion. That's it.
That's like sitting at the bar. That'd be the same as sitting at the bar. Right?
Absolutely. That's the way I see it,
Yeah. And then who checks the fact checkers? The classic question, right?
Yeah.
Who's the fact checker?
Oh, yeah. Multiple times they find out the fact checkers are wrong.
Yeah. I was listening to Rogan today, and him and what the hell's his name? He had his buddy on, and they were asking Chat GTP. What's that? Chat
GTP4.
Yeah, they're asking that a bunch of questions. And most of the time it was like, I can't answer that. It's against my community guidelines. And it's like, who puts that in there? Right? Because your guidelines might be different than mine.
Yeah.
That's a question that I always come up with.
Have you tried using it?
No. Have you?
Yeah. I delayed it for a long time, but then I've tried.
What do you do with it? Like, what do you?
I ask it to write articles,
Oh yeah.
for the business, for certain products and stuff like that. I'll say, hey, write me an article, 400 words on, anything like on how to diet or something like this, or the benefits of broccoli. And I'll write a 400-word article on the benefits of broccoli that you can't distinguish that it's actually written by a machine.
And that's you hit enter and it's done, right?
Boom. Yeah.
Ah, damn. Dude.
So I just move it along, and you can be more specific. You can incorporate a product that you have and try. And so I don't have time, so I do it. I wish I was in college now and having Chat GTP. I would just tell it to write all my papers.
Hell, dude, I'd have a hell of a grade point average at that point. I don't know. Overall, though, do you think it's like more of a pro or a con? I mean, us as humans, we're going to find a negative way to use it anyway, right? Because we just find a way to take advantage of everything. Mm-hmm. But overall, do you think it's a good thing?
I don't know, man. It's a tough one. I think for now, I don't think it's made quite enough of a big impact to say, hey, this is positive. But I think in the future, it possibly could, Yeah, because I don't know in the future what it's going to do. But for now, I think it's just creating a lot of shortcuts for people. Yeah. And then filling like a bunch of useless information. People are publishing all this content that's not human written and just clogging up the network a lot of times.
Oh, man, I didn't even think of that. Right, because now it's so easy to click a button. I ask a question, click. Now I got a 400-word blog. Post it,
yeah.
And then
you can connect it to an RSS feed to the news. Every time some news headline comes out, you get ChatGPT to write a big ass article, publish it, and now you just have a content machine.
Oh man, like you said, that's like, oof.
Yeah, that would it could be used like for how do you say when you're trying to create misinformation?
Oh, absolutely.
Use that. Oh, yeah. Create like 10, 20 different news outlets that are run on that thing.
Yeah, there goes somebody's job.
Whew. For sure.
Yeah. So you started your TV, your YouTube TV with the crypto stuff?
Yeah, this was back like 2015.
What the hell got you into crypto?
Oh man, that's a story. So I was living in Phoenix, right? And I ended up leaving Phoenix, selling my house, and I'd already left. So it was kind of like a short sale. And I got like 40 grand, right, coming in. And I was like, where can I put this? And I'm just don't got nothing else to do. So I'm researching, looking in, I get into Bitcoin, this stuff. So I literally gamble and put 40 grand into Ethereum. And it just boomed overnight. And so then I'm like, man, I better talk about this. And so I started making videos talking about it, and that boomed too. So it was really like a trend that I caught early. I was very lucky.
Damn, you're one of the very few, right, that didn't lose everything. You actually gained from it, right?
Well, I won't say that. I won't say that I haven't lost, because I have lost. But I'd say overall, I came out ahead for sure.
Hey, the IRS is listening, dude. You got losses, right?
No, but I got out ahead for sure. I bought other houses with the profits and all kind of stuff. I still have crypto to this day, but I've also gotten hacked, and then I got hacked one time, 70 grand. And then I've lost at trades and stuff. So
what
can you do?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the ups and downs of it, right? So if you have this kind of history with Bitcoin, what do you think all that stuff with FTX and?
Man, it's crazy. That's all I can say. It seems like one thing after another. As soon as they start building some trust, there's one thing collapses, then another collapses, and another collapses, one after the other. So FTX was just another collapse that took away faith from crypto. Like people have more doubts now than ever before. But then they had the Silicon Valley Bank thing. So tech as a whole is really shaky.
Getting a beating lately, right? What was the other bank? It was the one in Silicon Valley, and then there was 3 total, wasn't there? Banks that collapsed?
I think so.
Damn, dude.
I don't jump to my head the other names. I know Silicon Valley.
I remember seeing that. I was at the gym. I see it coming across. I was like, oh, shit. Some of the guys I listen to on podcasts are going to have a good time with this headline.
Yeah.
So, so when you're researching, what's your curriculum? Like, do you go, nah, I don't like that? Or just if it spikes and you think it's interesting, you jump on it?
Yeah, I would say if I think it has like the potential for engagement also, and I base that really off how well did it keep my attention? How well did it grab me? And some of that stuff, it really grabs my attention. I'm just like, oh, so then I'm like, okay. And this also my contribution. So I'm like, what can my contribution be to this?
Your narrative that you put in, right?
And if it's really good, then I'm like, okay, then I can just read it or look at the video and that's enough. Or they say, well, I got to make this better somehow.
And then is that where now your narrative, do you just spitball that or do you actually take notes and then create the video, or is that all kind of off the cuff?
Both really, sometimes if it's important, I'm going to write down a script. And then other times if it's a little bit more trivial, like maybe somebody's, a video of a shooting or something, somebody's getting beaten up or shoplifting, something like that, then I'll just go ahead and
just kind of
go with my gut.
Yeah. I commend you, dude. It's very entertaining. That is for sure. That's why I reached out. I go, this fucking guy, man. What's the craziest? What's the top 3 you got that stand out recently?
Craziest videos?
Yeah. That you went, holy fuck, dude. I gotta do this one.
Well, today's was a good one. Like the guy who had a Apple, those air tracker things, that are a little round tracker, your GPS tracker.
Yeah.
This guy had one in his truck and it got stolen. And so he went on his app, tracked down his truck like 20 miles away in a shopping center, found the guy and shot him dead right in the middle of the shopping center.
Did the guy that stole the truck confront him and they got in an altercation? He shot him, or he just walked up and shot him?
Well, he's saying that an argument happened, and he claims the guy tried to pull a gun on him, but they weren't able to find a gun on him. So
that could be a lot of trouble for that dude.
Yeah. It was Texas, though.
Well, yeah.
He might be good.
He might be good. Hey, man, the guy stole my property, so I shot him. Oh, okay. You're right.
Well, the thing saying, "Oh, I thought he had a gun," might be enough if you can convince a jury. He went like that. I feared for my life, and he's a thief in my vehicle.
Yeah, the whole combination, right? That's a. Can you imagine?
My only thing about it is that he shot up 2 other vehicles, and that's why other people could have gotten hurt in that kind of situation. Yeah,
that's the thing. If that guy's in a parking lot or something and he starts shooting away, there's no way that you can tell where some of them slugs are going.
Oh yeah,
and probably that guy's got a 45 or something, so it's going to go through the truck and into somebody else, right? No, in Texas, that's probably no pea shooter.
Oh yeah. And I mean, everybody's so gung-ho in the comments, right? They're like, yeah, good for him. It should be legal. I hope he doesn't go to jail. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But, what if your kid, what if I'm walking with my wife and child behind that car when that happens and I get hit, or God forbid, my child gets hit? Is that okay? No, it's not okay. Well, then, you can't allow just anybody. That guy's not putting 100 rounds or so a day in the range. That guy probably shoots once a year. So he's not ready for that kind of thing.
And then the other thing, is it flowing through his mind that this is my right? I have a gun and I can protect myself, even though he's in public and he's not really thinking about other people's safety around him, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I was looking. Yeah, then he's all emotional anyway. You just stole my truck. And knowing in Texas, it's probably a $200,000 truck.
It was like a Chevy Silverado, actually.
88 Silverado. Quad cab.
I know. 1,500.
Right? Yeah. Hey, that's worth a couple slugs in it, right? Probably already had a few.
I know. The irony is he destroyed his vehicle. Same thing with that other guy. The video I did where he put a booby trap inside the vehicle?
Yeah, I did see that.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's pretty fucked up. Okay, so I can see both sides of that. Okay, because it's like his vehicle kept getting broken into repeatedly, right? Mm-hmm. If I remember that right. So he puts a booby trap, and I'm not sure what the booby trap was. I didn't get that part.
It was a flashbang.
Flashbang. I can see the deterrent. Now, my first thought was, dude, you need to put a sticker across that window and take a picture of it that says, this truck is booby trapped.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Now, if he didn't do that, yeah, fuck the guy trying to steal your stuff. I get it. But then you can't I mean, I guess that's a definition of a booby trap, right? You don't know it's there.
Yeah, that's true. It would just be a trap.
Yeah, right. I just I can see both points, right? I can see the guy trying to protect his stuff, but I can also see that's kind of fucked up that you purposely hurt somebody doing that. I wouldn't want somebody stealing it. There'd have to be a different way, I think.
Yeah. And in the video, that's the thing. I don't blame him for doing it, but I
No.
just talk about the legality. Booby traps usually is illegal in a lot of states. Texas is a little bit more lax. But if you do something, and then people are like, well, the booby trap, the flashbang can't really injure. I'm like, man, kids have died with flashbangs and people have gone deaf. You can go blind.
Yeah. It might not kill you, but it'll maim you a little bit. It'll cause some kind of permanent injury for sure.
Yeah. And it's in a very close space, like the cab of a car, boom. It could give you a concussion.
And that dude, if I remember right, he just walked right up, threw something in the window or broke it with like a staff or something, and he jumped right in. Bang. Mm-hmm. I was like, woo. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think that's. I think there's a different way around that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. In the video, I was just letting people know, I don't want people to get an idea because he does it with a flashbang. Then the next guy does it with a shotgun on a string or something,
Yeah. Or a bear trap or something. Well, you always hear that shit about somebody breaking into your house and getting hurt because they fell through the skylight and they sue the homeowner and they win. And I've never understood that. Like, how can that happen?
Yeah. There's also the one where if you have a child that goes like a neighbor kid, gets in your pool and drowns, they can sue the homeowner. I've heard that one too. We got a pool, but I got a gate, locked in. But I always worry about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because when I was young, dude, we used to go pool hopping. You ever do that when you were a kid?
No, not a lot of pools. I grew up in Italy, so.
Oh yeah, well, you got a big pool right out on the side. Did you grow up on the shore or on the coast?
Torino. We're up in the mountains.
Oh yeah. When did you come into the United States?
Oh, well, I was 17, so it's a long time ago. My mother's American, so I always had the citizenship.
Oh, okay, cool. And your wife, is she American or Italian?
She actually just got her citizenship, but she's actually originally from Poland.
Oh, nice.
So you guys very international.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, do you talk to your son? Is your son bilingual at this point?
Nah, he's not even one lingual. I can't understand what he says,
Mine's jabbering all the time, dude, nonstop. And most of the time I can understand him. And then my wife speaks to him in French. My wife is fluent in French. She's Korean that speaks French.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And hell of a cook. And I teach him sarcasm. And then his auntie, real good friend of the family, since he's real little, teaches him sign language. So he knows a lot of sign language. So it's kind of fun he'll get doing something and he'll sign and I'll be like, I ain't fucking know what you just said, dude. But
that's funny. Yeah. My kid does the same. He learns it from this show like called Miss Rachel on YouTube.
My boy loves that.
And so when I give him something, he'll go like this, like, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm like, oh,
nice.
Yeah.
See that? She's under a bunch of heat. Did you see that? For? What's the lady's name that plays the guitar?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember her name, though. I think it's a her.
Non-binary.
Right? But what the hell's her name? Well, their name. But anyway, I guess in the videos, they got away from using boy and girl, and they were using pronouns and stuff, and I guess people just come unglued. I saw some of the comments, and they weren't being polite. So I guess she took a hiatus of making videos at this point. She's not making any new ones. Yeah, but she's got, look at her video library. My son watched that and Blimpy. You got into Blimpy yet?
I haven't gotten into Blimpy.
See, I like Blimpy because he uses real equipment. It's not cartoonish. Like he gets in an actual dump truck and is like, this is wheels and tires. These are the treads. this is the hydraulic boom that dumps the bed. And like he actually checks the oil in the engine and coolant. So my son has learned a lot of, he'll walk up to a dump truck or any car, be like, tire, wheel, hood. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the hood. That's the headlight. So
That's awesome.
so if I like him for that, Miss Rachel, I credit, he was not wanting to do nothing with a bath. It was a catastrophic event for us trying to give him a bath. And he watched a Miss Rachel video about the bath and washing cars in the bath. Ever since then, bath. Dude, you don't need 2 baths a day, man. You're cool. So,
That's what's up.
yeah. Miss Rachel was a bit huge, and he kind of grew away from it. He's not much of a Miss Rachel fan, but for a while, big time.
Yeah.
So,
well, the thing too with Miss Rachel, like I understand, like people with their grievances, but it's her show, so should be free to do whatever she wants. If you don't like it, you just got to change.
That's what I say about.
show.
Yeah, that's what I say about every piece of content out there. There's a power button. There's a you can change the channel. You can turn it off. Why do you have to take the? I mean, I can imagine you run into this, and I've run into it where they just come on and completely destroy your content. So you just took 20 minutes of your lifetime to jump on. Well, thanks for watching, by the way, and they just destroy your. It's like, what? Why don't you just move along and go do something more creative or more positive, right?
Oh yeah.
I think spending your money or spending your energy on positivity instead of negativity gets you a lot further in life. But I think there's a lot of people thrive on negativity. I mean, look at look at the content you got. I mean, were you the one that with the lady that wrecked the street vendor? No, that wasn't you. The lady attacked a street vendor and like flipped over his. Was that you?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I've had a few where there's another lady that attacked like a Asian store.
And it's like,
it was attacking the owners and stuff.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. Speaking of that, what's your thoughts on that bullshit with the pizza? The 30 minutes. So describe that for the people who haven't seen it. And by the way, whoever's listening, the link is in the show notes. You got to check this dude's fucking channel out. It's amazing.
Well, I appreciate it.
It's amazing, dude. It entertains me a lot, by the way. So,
well, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I really do. Sometimes I never know because sometimes you get a lot of negativity. And so I try not to read too many comments. It'll get me down. So
post and ghost, dude.
Yeah.
Don't even get involved in the comments. I think you get. Oh, go ahead.
No, well, to go back into your pizza before I forget now. So this lady orders a pizza from Domino's, and she does a pickup. And I guess the Domino's has a policy: if they don't deliver it within 30 minutes, you get a free pizza, right?
Yep.
And
it's been like that for a long time.
She flips out, wants her pizza, and starts recording, and they start recording too, I guess, and they don't want to give the pizza. They tell her to go to call corporate. I guess the grievance was they stopped the timer when they were getting close to 30 minutes and then brought it out a few minutes later.
Over what? $17 pizza?
Probably less, maybe $10. I mean, do they even have it? $17 pizzas there? Maybe you get all the fixins.
Yeah, back in the day, we called that a garbage can pizza, right? You just threw everything on it that's in there. So my conclusion of that was just give her the pizza. I mean, you can't, unless they're unbelievably tight. Management is unbelievably tight with that stuff, and they're getting in trouble or they got to meet a quota and all that stuff. But come on, dude, that's simple customer service. I've been in customer service my whole life. Here's a pizza, baby. See ya. And you know what? Here's some breadsticks. Have a great day. Because you're in customer service. Those reviews are going to be a positive review doesn't go nowhere near as far as a negative review. But at least if you go, hey, man, you're 5 minutes late. Oh, my bad. Here you go. Have a great day. Next.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Make it go away. Next.
Oh, yeah. I bend over for customers. I'm telling you, like an email, do anything, say anything too, because you say one bad thing, that review is going to cost you way more money, and I can't afford it, and then you can't get it down. Some of these places you don't have any control over what people say, so I don't know, man. It's funny because I see a lot more pushback from the customer service. You notice that, like, more people flipping out, more recordings. People are becoming less tolerant to complaints. People are standing up.
You're talking about the customer service rep is not putting up with the shit.
Yeah, not like they used to. Like, I feel like overall customer service quality has gone down the past 10 years. Maybe it's just me.
No, 100%. My business, I'm a little scorned because in my business, people try to take advantage of every single transaction. So I got to be a little hard on them on the transactions, make sure I'm not getting screwed over. But if you're nice and you're like, hey, man, this is just what happened, I'm like, oh, no problem. Here you go. See you next. But if you're an asshole right up front, I can be a bigger one. So, but yeah, I deal with probably 30 calls a day, for major transactions, for, big transactions. And I'm not talking $7 stuff,
Oh, yeah,
so people, and then I'm in the moving business. So people are pissed to begin with. They're all upset. Nobody likes to move, dude. Who likes to move? I hate moving. Yeah. So what's another? I got two of them out of you, dude. What's the other top three? You gave me two videos. There's another one that steps up.
Oh, sorry. You had me thinking about that customer service. And I was like, man, I've had some crazy people on customer service. I mean, I had one guy, this is a few years ago when I was running the fitness equipment business, and I sent him a bar, and it was weights, and then he complained, so I sent him a free bar. Then he got the bar and he said, the bar scratched my weights. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he sends me this picture. You can't see a scratch at all. And he's like, the bar. And I'm like, these are cast iron weights. What are you talking about? Stainless steel bar. It scratched my bar. So I'm like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I refund the entire transaction. This guy gets his refund, then posts Facebook, Trustpilot, everywhere, just paragraphs. And it's just like, what motivates somebody like that? You got the product for free, hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. I'm here kissing your ass, and you still spend the next few weeks trash talking me all over the place with just weird stuff, like your bar scratched my plates and stuff.
Dude, I'm a gym rat. Who fucking cares if your weights are scratched? What difference does it make?
Yeah. But it's a smooth bar too. Like, so I just don't understand.
Yeah. Well, so I run into the same type of thing, right? So they'll spend a bunch of money moving, and then they'll rent a truck, right? And then they'll say, I felt uncomfortable driving the truck. I want all my money back. I said, okay. So I'll look and I'll be like,
felt uncomfortable.
Yeah, the truck wobbled. The steering wheel wobbled a little bit. I felt uncomfortable, unsafe driving it. So I want all my money back. Okay.
But they still moved. They still used it.
Ding. So what I do, I'll be polite about it, but I go, okay, I don't see a file. You didn't call roadside assistance. No, I didn't have time. Okay, so apparently you didn't feel that unsafe. You didn't have time to do it. Well, I had to move. But if you felt unsafe, you should have called us because I would have gave you a different vehicle. Well, no, but okay, so did the truck, other than that, did you get everything moved? Yep. Perfect. We're in agreement then. Have a good day. But what do you mean? You should give me all my money back. No, you got all your stuff moved. So I deal with, those are the conversations I have. And then one lady sticks out about a week ago complaining that the steering wheel vibrates, right? When she's driving, gets up to speed, it vibrates. And when I push on the brake, it vibrates a little bit. I'm thinking, okay, so you have a 17-foot truck with 200,000 miles on it. Okay, so and I see her at the location, brand new fucking BMW SUV. I'm like, yeah, baby, this truck doesn't drive like your SUV. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? She's so used to driving that, she gets in that and she's like, this shouldn't be operating like that. I want all my money back. So it's just those types of things all day long. And then I'll have somebody say, hey, I waited, a guy will be real polite and be like, hey, listen, man, I did this and I waited this long. It's cool. I just want to let you know. And if there's anything you can do for me, great. I'll be like, hey, man, I'll do this for you. And hey, awesome. Thanks, dude. Down the road they go. But the people that they're the loudest when I don't know, like you just said with the weights, I don't know what gets in their mind. I get like a guy just completely blew up this location, blew up the whole transaction just on the review. So I called him and I said, hey, man, it says here that you had a bad experience. No, man, everything was cool. Well, the 3 paragraphs that you wrote in the review indicates that everything from beginning to end was wrong. No, I don't really have a problem.
Oh, so yeah, you become a cat on the phone.
Absolutely. I go, so why did you write that? Well, I was in a state when I brought it back and I just vented. And I said, do you know what you did to this location and the other people that are in the industry? You know, bad reviews do really bad things for these locations. Yeah, that doesn't affect me at all. And hung up on me. I was like, you fucking asshole. He said, what the fuck? Dude, have some consideration for other people. But people don't, dude. There's everybody's.
You have them where they just go off on you. Do you ever have them where they just go off on you, write a whole paragraph or something, accuse you of all these things, or accuse you of one specific thing, and then you call or you talk to them and you find out that they were wrong? Like they say, well, you never contacted me, you never did this, and you show them why I did. You misunderstood, and it just breaks down their whole argument.
100%.
You know, but then they want to apologize. They're like, oh, okay, never mind. But then they cussed you out, and then it's just like, okay, and then they walk away.
Yeah,
and it's like, ugh,
all the time. And there was this one guy just screaming, and this is common in my job. They call and they're just screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming, calling you all sorts of names. And I just saw them all quiet. And they're like, you there? I go, uh-huh. And they go, well, you have anything to say? I go, well, when you start talking in an adult manner, we'll get this taken care of. Off the handle, they go, screaming, screaming, screaming. I just sit there and be quiet. And they're like, so what are you going to do about it? Well, is once you talk to me like an adult, we'll be cool with that. And they'll be like, fuck you. And they start cursing then, right? If they haven't already. I go, hey, man, there's no reason for you to use that kind of language with me. I'll help you out, but you're not going to treat me this way. And then they hang up like, okay. Then they call back cursing and yelling. And they're like, I want to talk to somebody different. No matter who you call, dude, you're going to get me. So we're going to handle this. Eventually they calm down, but there's no reason to yell at anybody in customer service. They're there to help you, dude. Anybody on the line, you call somewhere and you go, can you help me? And they're like, I can't, but I'll send you to somebody. Hey, man, okay, send me to somebody. And just work it out. There's no reason to yell at anybody. Oh, Vincent, I got one for you. I got one. This is the best one.
Okay.
So I walk into this dealership, and this lady is destroying the dealer, and her back is to me, screaming at, fist clench, just screaming. And she goes, and the dealer goes, well, here's a guy right here can help you. She turns on me, starts ripping me apart on everything was wrong. You charged me. And the whole concept or the whole premise of the conversation was we overcharged her. I said, okay. I called many times and I wasted my day and I've made all these phone calls, spits flying. It was crazy. I was like, all right, I can help you. Let me pull it up. I get my iPad out and I go, this is your name. Yep. Okay. You rented it on this day. Yep. I'm going to break this down for you. Now I'm going to ask you politely not to interrupt me until I've completely broken this down, and then we can find the discrepancy. So she was polite that time. We get down, and she goes, see, right there. That's the whole problem. This is the whole problem. What's going on? And I go, the $1.79? I go, just correct me if I'm wrong, but the difference between what you came up with and what I came up with is $1.79. And she goes, yeah, see, this is, and just kept going off the line.
Jesus.
And I was sitting there going, and she's like, I go, I can refund it to you right now. Look, watch. And then I get it and I go, and she didn't have a credit card on file. I go, fuck. I go, can I have your credit card? I'll put it on your credit card. And she goes off the handle. So I dig in my pocket. I give her $2. And she goes, what's this for? I go, well, the $1.79. Now we're even. We're good. We're handled. Everything's done. And she's like, no, it's not. I was like, oh, well, okay. What's wrong now? She goes, I don't have any change.
Oh my God.
I go, you can keep it. Have a good day.
Wow.
Dude, and that whole interaction, of course, it top lined it for you, but that whole interaction was almost a half an hour long. Over $1.79.
That's insane.
And I come home and I tell my wife about it, and the first thing my wife says is, well, there's a lot more going on in her life than $1.79. That just happened to be the gunpowder that ignited everything. Right? But the thing is, though, how many times I don't know what you're going through. You don't know what somebody's going through when they call you. So you got to have a little compassion, but you can only take so much, man.
Yeah.
You know,
I try to tell myself that, when someone's rude, I'm like, they probably got something going on, but it still upsets me. So sometimes it ruins my whole day. Someone's rude or says something, I'm like, I just forget about it. But it's still, I carry it. Put me in a certain mood. Then maybe I'm short with my wife or something talking, then I'm like, you know what? That's fucked up that I'm short with my wife because of this person cussing me out, but it's really hard to detach yourself from work. You carry it.
Yeah.
So that's what sucks. So these people, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was saying these people that spew evil, that it's like a snowball effect of spreading, this negativity across the world, really.
Mm-hmm.
Because one person, then the next, and I pass it to someone, then I pass it to someone.
Well, what's God, who's it said it? The quote, I love it. I'll probably butcher it, but you get the point. Bad news will get twice around the world before good news ties its shoes on.
That's true.
Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if somebody has a good experience, they just walk out and they're like, oh, that was great. If somebody has a bad experience, like your guy with the dumbbell or with the bar, now he just wants to tell it to the whole world. And is it like dopamine fix? Because now people are coming. I don't know, I just thought of that. Do you think that's like a fix?
Maybe, probably. I mean, he's getting a serotonin, dopamine, some kind of hit. Having somebody talk to him,
Estrogen. Come on, dude. Right?
He's getting something. Estrogen too.
Yeah. What's the plan for the channel, man? What, you got a long-term plan, or are you just kind of winging it and having a good time?
I don't know, man. What do you think? You got any suggestions?
I just think do what you're fucking doing.
Yeah, I'll try.
It's a lot of work, though, huh?
Well, I've promised myself I'm just going to keep doing it, just stay consistent, do something every day, and keep on trucking, I think I gained like 100,000 subs in the past like 3 months.
Damn, dude.
Oh, yeah. So it jumped pretty fast. I mean, it was like 5-6 videos that did it, really. That's the thing. The average video is only getting like a few thousand, 10,000 views, but then there's a few that just blow up.
Yeah, the same with my episodes. A handful of them are just skyrocket, but my average is, goes down the line. And that's what puts my views into a certain level, is a handful of episodes. I guess that would be true along with every creative, right? Anything kind of creative that you put out there.
Yeah. I think I see a lot of creators that get like pretty decent views every single video. Like you got to establish that audience. And that's a tricky thing, is creating videos that appeal, because I think a lot of creators start making content based on what they think their subscribers want to see. So now all of a sudden they're catering their content, and it's maybe not as authentic, because you're like, well, do they want to hear that? So it can change you politically. It can change kind of your views. You start steering things a certain way because they're like, hey, half my subscribers like this certain video that was political, so let me make more political stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can't change my mind on a certain subject, because then everybody's going to get pissed, Yeah,
and you lose half, or you lose some, and you see that dip, and it kind of messes with your with your
Yeah.
energy and what you're thinking. You're like, oh shit, now I got to go back to that. Like you said, I don't know. It looks like, and it sounds like after talking to you for a minute, we're in the same boat. If it feels good, I create it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when I'm doing something with Canva and I was like, oh, that just looks cool. That makes me feel good. Boop, post. Some of them do well. Some of them do jack shit. So that's my theory too, is just keep doing it till it sounds, or till it's not fun anymore. Right.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I mean, that's the way I do with business too. You know, I get into something if I think I would buy this. I do an ad. If I see an ad and it's like, oh my God, that ad was so good. Now I want to buy it. I'll try to copy that ad. I'll pull something from it. You know, I don't worry about what's trending. I say, hey, do I want it? Because I assume if I want it, more people like me want it, you know? And so I try to invest and do things that I understand.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now, do you think that having a passion like that and enjoying it pulls you through the shit times? Like, if there's got to be days, dude, that you just don't want to make a video and you just want to not research stuff, but because your passion or the interest you have in it pulls you through that time.
I think so. Also, I think, you know, like if you at 10 years ago, couldn't stick to nothing. But now I'm really good at like being more disciplined. Like I run an hour every day. I got the home gym. I do things in a how do you say, like a schedule kind of, you know, same
Sure.
thing every day. When I was young, it would drive me crazy to do the same thing every day. You know, I don't know how you are, but you know, when I was young, I was traveling everywhere, drinking, partying. I couldn't sit still. Now, every day is the same and I'm happy with it. So it keeps me consistent.
So you were quite a rebel rouser back in the day, huh?
Oh God. You know, I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. We could probably swap some stories on that one. What brought you to America, though? So you were 17 and then you come over here?
Yeah. Well, I just decided it was time. You know, I was finishing school and, you know, my mother had her family here in the US. And so I had the opportunity. Also, that we still had the draft in Italy. So I was about to have to join the Italian military to do the year draft. And I was like, well, I got to decide now. I either want to do it here and stay here or go in America.
What is it, at 18? It's mandatory for a year?
It's not anymore, but it was when I was born.
Oh, okay.
Like they do it by year. So I think they stopped it in like 86, but I was still in the year that had to do it.
Who else? Switzerland, I had a guy on. Or Sweden. They do that as well. You got a 2-year mandatory. And if you're not in the military, you do like community type service. So like
Yeah.
you go and work in a hospital or that type of thing. So
Yeah.
if
In
you're
Italy,
not
we
in
call
the
it like civil service.
civil
What
service,
they
there you
call
go.
it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yep. Now, who were you with your dad over there? Is your dad Italian?
Hmm.
That's where you were staying with your dad and your mom moved back?
No, they were both over there. You know, I moved back first alone, and then my whole family came over.
Oh,
My
nice.
father was in the Italian Navy. Now he works out like at Fort Rucker, and it's works for the Department of Defense, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you guys land when you came from Italy?
Well, they landed the Florida and then Fort Rucker, so Alabama. You know, I stayed in Florida with relatives with my mother's parents, and then I just started traveling around all over the place.
You like
Where are you based, actually?
New Jersey?
New Jersey.
Brought me. I was in Colorado. I was born and raised in New York, and at 19, I moved to Colorado. Stayed 20 years there, and then got a business opportunity to come out to Jersey. I retired. I was in management at Coca-Cola for 20 years out there in Colorado. Not the whole
That's
20.
awesome.
You know, I worked my way up, right? So started driving truck and merchandising, but the last good half of my career, I was in management. Fucking awesome company to work for. Coke North America, you know, the real Coca-Cola, like the mother company. And before that, during my tenure, I worked for like bottlers and stuff, right? So they would get bought out by another bottler or another franchise. And I went through a bunch of those. And then I got the opportunity to actually work for Coke North America, and I took that. And that was awesome, dude. And I said, in my 12th year of employment, I wrote my resignation letter dated the 20th 20 years. So at 20 years, didn't matter. I was leaving. And 18, technically 18, because the first 2 years I was employed was with a bottler that Coke North America didn't recognize. So I have 20 years, but only 18 kind of on the books thing. But I got the opportunity to join up with a lady, and we built a very successful video and photo production company out here in Jersey. And then I sold my partnership to her. And now I work for U-Haul, that small moving company.
Mm-hmm.
I just totally dig the shit out of that gig. Been here for 5 years. And we just bought a house, and I had to physically flip it, make it livable to come in. So we spent,
Oh, wow.
I spent the first 2 months just every day, all day, 7 days a week, just working in the morning. I'm blessed that my job is very flexible, and I would just come in the afternoon, evening, get home at 9:00 at night, be to work 6 the next morning till noon, 9:00 at night at the house all weekend. I did that for 2 months, and then we moved in, and now we're just finishing up the second floor. So I was painting up there earlier before I came in, but home ownership, baby.
Yeah.
I love it, man. And having a little man walk out the front door and run across the yard and climb on the trees and explore the garage and the backyard. And I was like, that's it. That's why I do it. That's what makes it so worth it for him to be able to run through the house and up and down the stairs and just explore and have his run of the place. We were in an apartment before, and I'm like, we got to get out of here, man. This is not a place the place we were at was not a place to, as you got bigger,
Yeah.
You guys in your own place?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And where you're still down south?
Yeah, in Florida.
Florida? Oh, God.
Yeah, we
dude,
recently moved from Pennsylvania.
Oh, you were up in Pennsylvania, huh?
Yeah.
That fucking state.
I lived in Scranton, had a condo out there, and then I met my wife. She was in Harrisburg, and so we got married and bought a little townhouse in Hummelstown.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Then eventually the business started doing pretty good, so we decided to just buy a place out in Florida, and then we moved.
Now, was the business down in Florida, or why did it take you down?
No, it was e-commerce business. So we could do it from anywhere, but my wife didn't really have any family in PA, so we decided to come down here, be closer to mine since she was pregnant, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yep, that's awesome. You like it down in Florida, huh?
I don't know if I'd go that far.
My best friend just retired down there. He's a successful CPA, and he's getting to retire. He's semi-retired now, and he bought a house in one of those developments where you get everywhere in the development on a golf cart. You know how it's all like they got golf cart paths to go everywhere, and he loves it, dude. Loves it. And I was like, hey man, as long as you're happy, dude.
It's hurricanes all the time, man.
Hot?
That weather. Well, it's hot, and it feels hotter than it is because it's so humid. Then you got the hurricanes. You got God knows what else. Plus over here, there's just crazy people. You heard of the Florida man?
No, who's a Florida man? I probably have, but
the Florida man, it's a saying of the crazy Florida news. Like the guy that's on meth running around Miami. All this crazy stuff. They're always from Florida.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now I heard a reason we always hear about Florida people is because their records are open to the public, unlike some other states. So like news people can get into the records in Florida and find out all that weird, crazy shit, why people are arrested. And then they said, if you'd notice, a lot of the celebrities that have like crazy headshots are from Florida, or there was taken in Florida because they have access to that stuff. Like in California or Arizona, I'm not sure, dude. I'm guessing here. But in other states, I guess that stuff is not as accessible.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've ever.
Yeah.
It does,
makes
huh?
sense. Yeah.
And then recently I heard the governor said that they can't report on certain political things. So now a lot of news coming out of Florida is all just crazy shit that they can get their hands on. You haven't heard of that?
I did not hear about that one.
Oh, I have to look that one up. But somebody on a podcast was talking about it.
Yeah, it does make sense about like, the records and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys got up there like those little flyers, the like mugshot of the day, and they have like, the little mug.
No, I don't have.
Yeah,
Dude, we don't have a flyer
you
of the
get those
mugshot.
at the gas station. They got those pinned up.
Are you serious, dude?
Yeah. It's
So
pretty bad if you think about it.
So down in Florida, if you walk into a gas station, there's a mugshot of the day.
Oh yeah, it's a little magazine with all the mugshots. They make a business of it.
Dude, that is amazing.
The girls always get the front page. The chicks, the disheveled.
Oh, well, of course, yeah, right. That always sells, right? Guys like me and you, half in the bag at 2:00 in the morning, getting arrested. That's not going to make the front page.
No.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, right. Mugshot.
Yeah. It's very skeezy. A lot of these sites, they plug into the RSS feed of the jail. As soon as somebody gets a mugshot, they post it. Then later, maybe they drop the charges, whatever. You finding mugshots of yourself online. Then you want to have to take it down. They charge you to take it down.
No, yeah, like you said, hey man, capitalism, right?
Yeah.
It's a
But
business.
that's skeezy, I think they should keep that mugshot private until you're convicted at least.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, anytime you're brought in DUI, all that stuff. I got pulled over one time, and they arrested me for my insurance. I had a bench warrant because my ex-wife we had an agreement, and she was supposed to keep the registration of the truck active and did not. And apparently, I got a parking ticket months prior for parking on a street with an unregistered vehicle, and I had a bench warrant. So then they pulled me over and they're like, I pulled you over? Nope. Can you step out of the vehicle? Sure. I was like, well, whatever, dude. I mean, this is what we're doing. Why we're arresting you? Not a clue. We'll talk about it down the station. Okay. I guess we're going to the station.
So you didn't know. It could have been anything at that point.
Yeah. And of
you
course,
worried?
Nah, fuck, dude.
Maybe some federal charges. IRS is after you. Who knows?
Yeah, right. Or something. But no, when I was a lot younger, I remember sitting across the table from the prosecutor, and they said, if you don't get in any trouble for X amount of months, we'll seal all this up. I said, okay. So I got married.
This is in New Jersey.
No, it's out in Colorado. I caused a lot of trouble out there, dude. I remember, I don't know if you know much about Colorado, but Pueblo, Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I got physically ran out of there, chased out of there by a girl's brother and his friends. They were in a pickup truck, and I was on my motorcycle, and they fucking run me out of Pueblo.
Oh,
that's
wow.
That's just fucking, yeah, dude, I could tell you. I was not a good person back in the day, dude, but like you, I have a schedule. I keep the same exact, just about. I get up at 4 a.m. I'm in the gym
Jeez.
I'm in the gym by 5. My gym doesn't open till 5, but I get up at 4. I go to the parking lot and I do a lot of my admin podcast stuff while I'm sitting in the car till the gym opens, and then work out, get in my rig by 7, get home by like 2 or 3, work on the house or hang out, go get my little man at 5. We hang out until, we have dinner together, put him to bed. My wife gets home about 6. He's in bed by 7:30. Her and I hang out for a while. Then I go to bed because 4 in the morning comes quick.
Wow.
Yeah. There's nights that I only get, 4 hours of sleep. Then there's nights I get 8 hours of sleep. But like you said, man, a schedule is, I feel that a schedule is key to sanity. I believe that us as humans, we like structure. We like to have responsibility and people that depend on us. You know,
Hmm. Oh yeah.
it drives me. There's a lot of drive in me knowing that my wife and my son depend on me. You know,
Oh yeah. Well, you know that saying that says, 80% is just showing up when it comes
absolutely.
to success. And it's an easy saying to say and to dismiss, but the more, I live, the more I realize it's so true. 80% of it is just doing it, just like posting the video, doing the workout, showing up at work. You just do it. Even if you don't feel like it, even if you're going to do a shitty job, just go ahead and start showing up. And
Hmm.
eventually it's going to stack up and you're going to outperform and outwork the other guy that shows up once a week or whenever he feels like it.
Yep, that's my thought
Definitely.
exactly. And I think you're old enough or you know enough about this, but I don't think they do it anymore. Is uh, interest? Jeez, what's it? Compounding interest?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why I look at stuff. Okay, this morning's workout was a pile of fucking shit. I mean, I didn't hardly do anything, but I was in there doing it. And then there's other mornings that I just completely crush. Sorry, man. I just completely crush the gym, and people are like moving out of my way, like like parting the Red Sea when I walk around. You know, but that's, I mean, like you said, right? You just show up, man. Just fucking go, dude. Just do it. You know, and one of my sayings that I have is one more. I've been using that for as long as I can remember. You could, like in your business, one more email, one more phone call, one more rep, one more mile, one
Yeah.
more, right? And if you do 4 more reps a day, well, that's 20 more a week. And then you can add that and add that and add that. And, and same with emails. You do one more email. Next thing you know, you did 2 more emails or 3 more emails. So I have a saying that one more, just one more, man, just one more, just one more.
Oh yeah.
Eventually you got to stop, dude. But I think that people stop long before that they are able, or than they should.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Oh
like
yeah.
an office job, 3 o'clock rolls around. You're like, fuck this, dude. I got to wait till 5 now. It's like, just do one more. It's going to be one more than you did. But anyway,
Yeah.
Vincent. Oh, go ahead.
Yes. No, I was going to say, just being on a schedule, you ever notice that time goes by so much faster? Like if you do something different every day, it seems like you're in the moment, you're living it. That's one thing that gets me all the time is I'm worried. Like I feel like I'm getting old so fast. I'm like, my God, where's time going? Like 3 years since I've been married to my wife. I'm like, it just went by so fast. And I'm thinking, well, how can I slow it down? What am I doing? I'm like, well, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing my videos, working out, running the business, but it's just time is just fleeting.
Yeah, it's hourglass thing. Is there more time? Is there more on the top than the bottom? Right.
I know.
And it
And then
goes.
I calculate like my son, and I think when he's 15, how old am I going to be? And that'll really sober you up, When he's 20, how old am I going to be? And I'm like, oh man, I'll be
Yeah.
60, or 50, whatever, like it stacks up fast.
And then makes you want to put down the candy bar or do one more mile of cardio when you think that stuff, right? Because
Oh yeah.
I'm 48, dude, and I crawl around on the floor with my son and chase him around, and I still want to do that for the next 10, 15 years for sure. He's just going to get more agility. He's just going to be faster and bigger and stronger. And it's that, he goes this way and I go this way, right? You get older and he gets, as I get older, he does too, but your ability shuffles.
Oh
So
yeah.
here's a question for you. Priorities. How do you rank your priority between you and your family? Like if somebody says, what's your first priority?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say?
Well, I definitely say like my family for
But
sure.
even within your family. So between the 3 of you.
I'd probably say my son has taken, the priority. I think it rearranged a lot of like the plans I had for life, the priorities I put, on myself. Like, oh, I want to get this done. I want to achieve this. Once my son was born, it became about like, what can he achieve? What can he do? But it's no longer important what I do. It's his opportunities, and that's, something different for me because I've always been very self-centered, kind of focused on myself. And now it's like a big change.
It changes the way you look at everything, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I don't
Yeah.
understand people that don't change, to be honest. You know, because some parents, they don't change. They're still doing the same shit they used to do before they had kids. And I'm like,
How's that
I
even?
don't get it. Yeah.
I went to a public school in upstate New York. I can't do that math. Why wouldn't you change, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing I got thinking about today, painting. Speaking of that, I always think about my mom, right? She's passed years ago, and I think about the shit that I've put her through, right? So I always would come, in my mind, the Rolodex flips back, and you're like, oh man, I remember that time that I did this, and man, she had to put up with that. But then I got thinking today about my son and the joy that he brings me, right? So last night when I put him to bed, the way he acted toward, going to bed and asked for a blanket, and I tucked him in, and it was just very moving for me. So I got thinking, I was like, wonder if, I'm sure, but I got thinking about those times my mom would think that, like the joy that I brought her. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So me as a son, I would always think about the shit that I caused her. But today I thought about the joy I must have brung her. Had to. You'd have to, right? I mean, she can't be pissed at you for 25 years. Well,
I don't know, man. I don't know. According to my mother, I might.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I got thinking of that. But when somebody asks me on priority, I always say it's myself, my son, and then my wife. And it's the whole putting your oxygen mask on first scenario. I've always been that way. If I'm in good shape, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever, I can take care of those two very well. But if I'm in bad shape, I mean, how can I take care of my son if I'm all wrecked?
Yeah, I mean, philosophically, it makes sense.
Yeah. And I had a back injury about 5 years ago, and I was paralyzed. And when I'm laying in bed in the hospital, that's when it really struck me. I'm like, I need to take care of myself. I can't be like this. And luckily, and I'm blessed that I walked out of the hospital.
It's great.
Yeah, crazy, right? But it brings a different look or a different feeling, and you look at things a lot different. You ever have anything that kind of twisted you up so bad that moving forward you have a different outlook in life?
Oh yeah, all the time. Had a lot of things like that. I think. But I was gonna say, like, your kid sleeps alone already.
Oh yeah. What do you mean? Yeah.
I'm one of those parents, I guess. We got our kid in the bed. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Dude. From day one, I go, oh, he ain't fucking sleeping. No, he sleeps in the crib. And he's, of course, with teething or he's been ill, a couple times, he'll have a rough night. We soothe him. But majority of the time, we put him at 7:30 at night, and he gets up at 5:30 in the morning.
7:30. Man.
And he gets up at 5:30. Like,
we're lucky if he goes to bed 11, and I wake up with a foot here every morning.
Oh yeah, because we brought him in bed. Okay, so if he gets up before I leave in the morning, I scoop him out of the bed or out of the crib and toss him in the bed with my wife, and then I leave. So he'll sleep for a couple hours most mornings with my wife. But the three of us in a bed does not work because he's this way. He's kicking me in the face and in the back, and I'm like, this is not working. This is not working. But no, you don't sleep in a bed. No.
Yeah. And I know we got to do it too. It's tough. It's a tough habit to break once you're ingrained in it.
Uh-huh.
And, it makes me happy too. I go to bed probably, man, like 1, and they're already asleep. And I scoot in there and I'm laying in bed. And I'm thinking, oh, look at that. I got my little family here. It's all warm and fuzzy inside. And then I get the foot to the temple.
Reality. Pow. But
yeah.
No, I see what you mean. And that's what happened to me last night, putting him in the crib. And he asked for his blanket. And I tucked him in like a little burrito. And the way he sleeps in his crib, and he lays on his elbows and his knees with his butt in the air. And I just tuck his blanket around. See you in the morning, bro. He's like, bye, Dad. Okay. That's it. And I don't see him until I pick him up from daycare. Most mornings.
Oh wow.
Yeah, most mornings, because I'm gone before he wakes up. And then I see him, I snag
We
him.
don't do daycare either.
No,
He's
you leave him at
spoiled.
home? You leave him at home?
Yeah. We're both at home all day, so nobody leaves.
He's been in daycare since he was 4 months old.
Oh wow. That's young.
Yep. He could barely crawl.
But now going to school and kindergarten will be easier because he's already used to it.
Yeah.
And
And then
ours is going to be crazy.
yeah, the separation, right? And then we take him to music class, swim class, and then it's called The Little Gym. It's a franchise up here, and it's basically it's in strip malls, most of them, and you walk in and it's just covered in padded blocks and all that. It kind of looks like a gymnastics studio, and it's got the rings and the bars and climbing walls and all that. And we've been taking him once a week to that since he's been 4 months old, and he just fuck, dude, he loves it. I go, dude, come on, man, we're going to the gym. And he's like, and he comes running out, and I just let him loose in the gym, man. And he's polite, he works his thing. And there's some parents that walk around and like hover over their kid and I just said, see you, dude, let me know if you need anything. And I sit and watch him, make sure he doesn't get all twisted up somewhere, right? And then a lot of times he'll come over and pull on me and be like, come play with him, and I'll come and throw him around and chase him around and that kind of thing. But he loves that. And I think that was huge for his cognitive and his athletic ability.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were taking him.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. It's really cool. And then he wasn't even, obviously he's not walking at 4 months, and all the kids were roughly the same age, right? So you have a class, they're like, how old are they? And they put them all, obviously they're not going to put a 4-month-old in a 2-year class. But some of the younger kids that were in that class were walking at that time. And he would just sit there and stare at them and be like, well, how come I can't do that? He'd look at the kid walking and then look at me and then look at the kid walking. I'm like, you figure it out, bud. And he just started walking. But I mean, imagine yours is running around just jabbering all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine won't shut up. School though. I like it. I was telling him
That's
today,
awesome.
I go, I love your curiosity. He's like, what's that? What's that? Dump truck. That's a yellow dump truck. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? It's fun, man. It's fun.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you don't take him to the park and all that good stuff?
We do the park sometimes, yeah.
No.
That's about it. He'll go to the grocery store, park, stuff like that. But we don't have a lot of cool stuff here.
Damn, man, down Florida, don't you think they'd be loaded with that stuff, right?
Got a lot of stuff for bigger kids, like skating rinks, arcades, stuff like that.
You don't have like all those indoor play places down there?
Maybe. I didn't even consider it. It sounds like a seething cesspool of diseases, though, for children.
There's that. I've been to some and I'm like, we walk in and I go, okay, buddy, come on. We're just going to keep right on going out the door. We turn around and leave. But
I know.
there are some that are pretty nice. But I guess that's what's nice about living right here across the big water from New York City, a lot of population. So we can get anything within half an hour.
Yeah, that's what I missed about the North. There's more stuff because there's more people here. Between one town and another, there's just nothing but swamps and trees.
And what side? So where are you again in Florida? What side?
I'm on the Gulf side, like Santa Rosa Beach.
My buddy's in Panama City Beach.
Okay, yeah, it's right next door, Pensacola.
Okay. Yep.
We call it the Floribama.
Floribama. Yep.
Floribama. Yeah.
Florida.
Redneck Riviera.
What's that?
Redneck Riviera.
Redneck Riviera. I tell my buddy that his housing development is Margaritaville something. They bought the name from Jimmy Buffett to advertise the community. Try to sell it. And everything's all the pink and blue and the whole tropical thing. But Vincent, I enjoyed having you on, my friend.
Hey, pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me.
Uh,
Anytime.
let people know where you can be found, please, before we hang up.
Oh yeah. Just type Vincent Briatore in anywhere, YouTube, Instagram.
You're all over. I'll put
For
the
now.
I'll put the link in, obviously, in the show notes. But hang on just one second. Hang on just a second, bud. We're going to get out of here. Thanks, man.
Hey, no problem. Hey, thank you.
Vincent falls right into my summer stage theme that came about organically, that the world is just such a better place with people like him in it. And the link is in the show notes. You want to get a hold of him. I bet you he would love to hear from you. Give him hell while you're over there for me, too. And I'm going to get you out of here because I know you got shit to do. But don't forget, Live Rishi, high-quality CBD product, high-speed daddy, tactical baby gear. And I use this shit on the regular. And when I say on the regular, I'm talking daily. Link is in the show notes. All the details you need to know. And I'm hailing you from home of Lambert Castle, which is known to be the Spoon Museum and has over 5,400 spoons. Shit, I thought my silver drawer was a mess. That's in New Jersey. All right, man. Don't act cool. Be cool. Till next time.